So what is a derivative? A derivative is an equation that explains the rate of change of something. So in other words, how it's growing or shrinking on the graph. So let's take this equation, y equals x. Simple linear equation. So if you think about the slope of this equation in a y equals mxb plus b type of format, your m, in this case, your slope, would be 1, since it's just growing by 1 each time. You have 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, so on. And we have no plus b, so it's plus 0. If you take the derivative of y equals x, you would also end up with y equals 1, which is a horizontal line. You could also derive this again and end up with 0, since the slope of this straight line is 0. It's not changing at all, it's not growing or shrinking, it is constant. So the derivative of any constant is 0. So let's take this a step further, and let's do y equals x squared, a parabola. Let's make our rough parabola here. And if you notice that every time we take a whole number step, we go from 1, 1 to 2, 4 to 3, 9, and so on, and it keeps getting larger and larger, not the same as the linear rate that was in y equals x. So we'll need to change up our strategy to find our slope. So let's use the exponent rule. That says if you have a number or an equation that you're deriving by that is to the nth power, you can bring this n down here and then minus it by 1. So let's try that with y equals x squared. We're going to take this 2, put that down here, and then take this 2 and subtract it by 1. And we end up getting 2x, which is a similar linear line. And you can derive this down into 2 and then 0. If you wanted to do your triple and double and quadruple or derivatives, it keeps going if you have the space. So let's move on to a more advanced way of deriving. This is called chain rule. You will use this plenty more once you get to more advanced calculus concepts where you need to integrate your derivatives. So chain rule is what we'd been previously doing with exponent rule. And let's try that again. We have y equals x squared. So let's do this with chain rule, just to visualize this. So we bring our 2 down, subtract it by 1, to get 2x. But now that chain rule, you actually multiply by the thing that you were deriving. So now we are left with dx dx. The derivative of y is dy dx, for notation's sake. But since dx dx is just 1, we never had to write that. But if you go on to more advanced derivatives, you will end up having more x's and more x's and more things to multiply this derivative by its inside. So let's see this in action. Let's do x squared plus 1, all of that to the second power. It's the same with exponent rule. You take your 2, put it down here, subtract it by 1. So now you have 2 x squared plus 1 to the first power. And now you have to multiply by the inside, the derivative of the inside. And that would be 2x. The derivative of 1 is 0, so you don't have to write that. And now we're left with 4x, x squared plus 1 to the first power. And that would be your complete derivative if you didn't multiply it out. You can also do another one. Let's do 3x plus 4. Add another coefficient on there. Again, take our 2, bring it down, subtract it by 1. So now we have 3x plus 4 to the first power times the derivative of the inside, which would be just 3, since the derivative of 3x is 3. So now our final answer would be 6 times 3x plus 4. And you can multiply this out. Let's do another higher order one. Let's do our 3x plus 4 to the fourth power. So we'll take our exponent, drag it down, get our 3x plus 4 on the inside. Now we have our 3 up here, and we're left with the inner derivative of 3. So 12 times 3x plus 4 to the third power. And this is a more advanced one. As another example, let's do another 3x, this time to the third, plus 4 to the fourth. So we'll bring that down to get 4 3x to the third plus 4 to the third. And now we have to multiply all of this by the inside. So the derivative of 3x to the third plus 4 would be 9x squared. So our final answer would be 36x squared to 3x third plus 4, all that to the third, and this would be our final answer for this derivative using chain rule. So that is chain rule and derivative basics, and hopefully you enjoyed that and it was helpful to your learning. We'll do more math content in the future, so if this helped you, please like and leave a comment on any other topics that you would need explaining for. And I also stream on Twitch if you'd like to see some of that. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy.